We move on to the 6th on the programme, and race number 6 is a Class 4 over the 1,200 metres. Good for you, heads them dropping back into Class 4 company. Lasting Friendship finds his first time in this company. Silver Fig ran up on the all-weather last time out. He was first up for the season. Glenelg Generals, who won on debut, that was over the 1,000 metres back in December. The creative last start winner in Chung Fa. Diamond Brilliant third on debut behind Charizard. Divine Power and Warlord make their debuts, and down to good old Multimax. He'll roll forward from barrier number 8. Now, as far as Chung Fa is concerned, good for you, the creative. Super Red Dragon and Warlord, the debutants, have all been north in the last 30 days.
Yeah, now what does Warlord do, the newcomer here? He's been handy in his trials at Chung Fa. He's drawn 14, so they've got him pictured there going forward. Multimax is the noted front runner. Glenelg Generals won on debut, but then a lame right front leg issue stopped him racing back on the 2nd. So they're the 3 you would think. Silver Fig can posse up a little handier from a good barrier in gate 4.
Last start winner at Chung Fa was the creative in that exhibition meeting. He's going nicely down the straight here, a couple of even sectionals as you can see, and he's held his form together nicely, so he comes into this race well, and Alfred Chan will take the 10 pounds off his back as well. Diamond Brilliant, now I thought it was a really good run from him on debut. He ran 3rd in a really good form race behind Charizard. You can see he goes nicely as well, so he's come on from that debut run. I'd be surprised if he'd run a cheeky race as Diamond Brilliant. He's in the market as well. I thought I'd show Warlord because he's been basically trained the whole time up in Chung Fa. He's there with Infinity Endeavour. He's miles in front of him, but Warlord just hits the end of his gallop really nicely, and he's travelling well. Nice
Hong Kong pedigree as well. He's by Sweet Orange, out of a half-sister to Amazing Kids.
There you go. That is Hong Kong pedigree.
You get too many of those. All right, that's Warlord. We'll come back to him in a second. Start off with Glenelg Generals, who was good enough to win on debut. Missed his last intended start. He was lame in his right fore.
He was, but he's performed well in a trial going into to this race, and this was a nice debut. Cut down multi-million. We know what he's been able to do since, so it does read quite well. He's drawn a touch awkward. But we saw in that speed map, Zach Purton might be able to offset that fairly quickly if he steps well.
Yeah, by Per and Canto, the 1200 step up looks ideal for him. It's just the draw that put me off a bit. I've still got him in there. I think he'll run well.
OK, that's Glenelg Generals. What about Diamond Brilliant? Let's go back to him. We saw the track work. Let's hear from the jockey, Regan Bayliss.
Regan, Diamond Brilliant, you rode him on debut on Derby Day. What were your thoughts on that performance?
Yeah, I think he's a talented young horse. You know, I think he handled himself very well. He had a tough trip that day and covered some extra ground, but still like the way he balanced up and looked the winner and did hit the front and just got run down the last sort of 100 metres. So, you know, with natural improvement from that run, you know, I think he'll run in very well.
Did he just peak on his run that last 100?
Yeah, obviously being his first start, he only had a couple of soft trials and he just peaked on his run the last little bit, but he should be ready to go on Sunday. And although he's drawn, you know, a bit of an awkward barrier, I think if he can overcome it, I think he'll run very well.
As far as a racehorse is concerned, him knowing his job early on in his career, where's he at in that regard? Yeah,
he's still learning his craft. That's why I think from his first start to his second start, he'll take massive improvement. And I was able to sit on his back in a gallop about a week ago, and he gave me a nice feel. So all signs showing that he's improving as a racehorse, and I think he'll turn up on Sunday.
Couple of nice horses in the race, Silver Fig, Glenelg Generals. Overall, have you had a look at the race, and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Silver Fig's very talented horse. Obviously had a long layoff, but its first start run the other day on the dirt track was very good. Hit the line strongly, and it's actually drawn a better barrier than me. But as I said, you know, if we can overcome the barrier, I've got a lot of faith in my horse, and I think he'll run well.
All right, that's Diamond Brilliant. Nice segue, though, from Riga straight into Silver Fig. That's the next horse we're going to have a look at. Back at the trials, super run, actually, first up behind Simply Big, who came out and almost won on Wednesday night. Again.
Yeah, well, we know that he'd had some issues, and on the dirt they just sort of dropped him out, and they were probably hoping that he could run on well, and that he did, Paul. It was a nice second.
Yeah, I think he's going to be tough to beat now. Coming back onto the turf, barrier 4, should get the race run to suit as well. So this trial was really nice as well. He hit the line very strongly. He's only had the 2 starts and won in a second, so he's progressive.
He showed on debut that he could be just a class better than the opposition in that race. So if that's the case, he'll be hard to beat.
All right, nice opportunity for Martin Harley as well. And Warlords, the first starter, he's had 6 trials coming into this.
Yeah, racing in those colours worn by Sergeant Titanium. See, now you can see in this trial he came from the back part, but he closed off nice enough. Now they've drawn 14. Do they roll forward? It's a question mark. if it doesn't quite work out from that gate, when you're running 1,200 metres, you're in trouble. You're going to be caught deep. So I just left him out, but I'll be interested in the market situation with him and what Jenny says from the paddock.
Yeah, I might put him in for 4th because I think they'll get back and he'll be just running home down the outside. So yeah. I think it'd be definitely a horse to follow out of this.
He does look a likely type, no doubt.
All right, Silver Fig, hardest to beat?
Yeah, he's on top, Silver Fig. I think he's a progressive horse and he's going well at the moment. And he comes at a really strong form line behind Simply Big. Glenealy Generals, 1 start, 1 win, up to 1,200 looks good. Just an awkward draw. Diamond Brilliant went well on debut in a strong form race. And Warlord for 4th. 3, 4, 9 and 12. I think the 3 can win.
Yep, I've got him on top as well. Silver Fig number 3 as the hardest to beat. Diamond Brilliant, the Quinella horse. Little roughy here for me. Super Red Dragon. There was a trial from him at Chun Fa where he drew low. And he ran OK. He's a horse that's going to need further. But I think if they can get him out of the gates and get him into momentum early, which may take some doing, then he can probably posse up and he might gallop himself into 3rd, Glenealy General's 4th. He's a little value runner for me. I think he could be an improver, but we'll wait and see.
Yep, we've all got the 3, 4 and 9 in there. The difference for me, Lasting Friendship. Down in class, up in trip. Ben Sofa, Peter Ho there in race number 6.